Thank you and welcome to Shape the World with Yemi. My name is Yemi Babington Ashaye. I am your host. I lead United People Global. And as you know, we have open conversations with people that you know and people that you should know. And today we're honored and humbled to have a very special person with us. Please give a proper Shape the World welcome to Lady Mariéme Jamme. Welcome, sister.
Thank you.
Mariéme is a rarity. She's an award-winning technologist. She leads a movement to teach young women and girls, 1 million young women and girls, how to code by 2030. She's also an inspiration. She's someone who reminds us that your past does not have to determine your future. Mariéme has a past that has condemned many people. But what is more important than the past is her present and her future. And she's taken control of that present and that future in ways that continue to inspire. She's touching lives. There's so much, and we can get into all of this together because she's agreed to an open conversation. So you drive and she responds. Mariéme, if you can just please say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
So, audience, welcome. As you know, Shape the World is the audience doesn't watch. This is not a webinar, so you must participate. I can see many regulars in the house, so welcome. You know how it works. If you have a question, please use the Q&A button in the middle of the screen and post your question so we can see it. I will pick the questions. If I don't pick your question, it's my fault. But please put the question there. And if you want to do shout outs or any chats or any hellos, you can use the chat section. So I'll show you how. So hi Maria, hi Hisham, hi Mr. and Mrs. Salami, hi Rafaela, hi Mom, hi Akaj, hi Abdul Basit. Great to see you. Oh, well, more people are coming in. Welcome. Well, you haven't missed anything. We're just about to start. So if you want to do shout outs in the chat, questions, Q&A. So who's going to lead? We need a first question. Our guest is Lady Mariéme Jamme, and she's going to answer any question you have. Anyone. But maybe before we please start posting your questions. But while we're waiting for you, Mariéme, can you just tell us, where are you right now?
I'm so honored to be with you, Yemi. Thank you so much for being an amazing guy. We love you. You are a leader in Africa, and we really appreciate you and your family. Thank you so much. So I'm in London right now. So I was born in Senegal, but I live in the UK.
All right. Thank you. I guess lockdown has been challenging for everybody. But you have been able, I guess you've been working virtually as well, even before lockdown?
Absolutely. I've been working very hard. And so before lockdown, I was in a Kakuma Refugee Camp in Kenya. For most of you who don't know that place, it's in north of Kenya. It's in a Turkana County. And we have over 200,000 refugees, so from Somali, Burundi, Kinshasa, and South Sudan, who lives in that camp. And they're under the custodian of the UNHCR, who takes care of the refugees, and the African refugees in their own continent.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. All right, so welcome, everybody. Please post your questions using the Q&A button in the middle of the screen. Now, Lady Mariéme Jamme is exceptional in many ways, but I would actually like to start with the movement you're leading. Can you just tell us a bit about iamthecode and this movement to train 1 million women and young girls? Please tell us about the movement. Tell us the goal.
Absolutely. I was gonna just, in case, I don't know people can see my screen, but I'm not gonna share anything, but I can send you the presentation later. But
if you want, you can share your screen.
Oh, I can share. Okay, let me share just a little bit about the stuff I've done for you guys.
Thank you.
This is my presentation. It's called Virtual Wisdom.
Beautiful.
During lockdown. So what I I'll probably share a little bit about I Am the Code. So, and then, as you know, I am from Senegal. That's where I was born. And so this is the only picture I've got with my twin brother. And so most of you probably have a childhood photos and, you know, that your mom or dad have taken, but I don't have any other photos apart from this one. So this is my twin brother. I'm twin. My twin lives in Germany today. He's an asylum seeker in Germany. And so Senegal is a very small country, but I came from an aristocrat family where, unfortunately, in the 1970s, we had a society issues where my mother had to give us away as children. So I had a very, very difficult childhood growing up. I came from an aristocrat family with a lot of wealth, but because of social issues, we have to move from Dakar to Kaolack, which is a very small village not far from Dakar, where I was, unfortunately sexually abused as a child in a Quranic school. So I learned the Quran from 7 years old to 11 years old. So I'm fluent in Arabic. And then at the age of 13 years old, I was taken away from Senegal to France, where my mother's family and all the network, they had an airline called Air Afrique at that time. I don't know if you remember. So I landed up in France just like that, completely lost and have no, from hot to cold. And then I end up for 3 years, I was under the tube station in Paris, in Saint-Denis, in Boulevard Nation. That's where I grew up as a child. So, and then now I live in Britain, where it's my home. I've been here for a very long time. And so I live in the United Kingdom, where I become a British citizen, where I work very hard now to make sure that we get women and girls learn how to code, as Yemi said. So I created I Am the Code because I think it was necessary. I've been working in the tech sector for 25 years. Yeah. But I thought that it was important that we bring movements like this that not only connect multi-stakeholders, but create this unity where we can all work with government, private sector, and investors together, so we can make sure we advance STEM education for women and girls, meaning science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So I'm a full stack developer. I spend all of my time developing and building websites and application. And so I've been doing this for, for a very long time now. So I'm a full stack developer. I'm a coder. That's what I do. And so I Am the Code was the first organization to be recognized by the United Nations. And so just because the methodology is very, very simple, the way we educate girls and the way we give them access was very, 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 very simple. So that's what I Am the Code really is about. And today we have 18,000 girls in the program in 68 countries.
Awesome.
Yeah, so absolutely. And we have like a couple of pillars, but I can send you this slide later. And my purpose was to get 1 million women and girls to learn how to code, because I know how to do it. And I think one of the things Yemi wanted me to ask you and discuss with you is, during this lockdown, we need to focus on what we're good at, really focus on what we're really good at, and then do that. So I've been all I'm good at is coding and developing applications, and I'm a technologist. So my focus is absolutely that. And so by 2030, I would like to make sure this number is, is there for girls and boys.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'll stop here before I do something else.
No, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And there's so much power in every part of the story you've shared, especially this big number, 1 million. Now, the number, we're on the journey to this million. We still have 10 years to get there. And we're at 18K right now. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct.
All right, that is really beautiful. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously, before this powerful number here, there's also powerful stories you shared with us.
Yeah.
So thank you. Now, audience, this is not a webinar. You know how it works. If there's anything you want to know, please post a question with the Q&A button, and Mariéme will go there. She says she's happy to go everywhere. I understand you actually code in multiple coding languages.
Correct. So I couldn't read and write. So when I as you know, I didn't go to school, so I didn't have the opportunity to sit in a classroom. And so I had difficulty learning in my formative years. So most of you may not know, but from 0 to 16 years old, if you don't have any education, it's very difficult for you to catch up after 16, it's very difficult. So I learned how to read and write, English, because French, I had a broken French, so I could speak French. I had a broken French, not a proper French, but I had a broken French. And so when I came to the UK, I started learning English. and I've been learning English all my life, basically. And so then I started going to local libraries. So that's why I fund and work with local libraries where there are places of learning. So I go to the local libraries where I get girls and boys to actually get literacy, and numeracy is very, very important. When you know how to read and count, it's very, very good asset for you. And
Absolutely.
so then I started learning, and then after that, I just focus on going to library every day, 2 hours. So focus and discipline, very, very important. That's what Yemi is really trying to get us to do. And then focus on that, and I become a coder. So I code in 7 coding languages.
Wow.
I started with HTML. In that time, we didn't have Google, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have all this social media.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I did my first ever blog where I criticized the international development community, because I was a recipient of aid. I used to wear all the clothes from Oxfam. My orphanage was in Village SOS in Kaulak. So I suffered this, the systematic problems that we created for poor people. And today my job as a pioneer in system change, what I'm trying to do is change the systems, the systematic attitude and behavior that actually create poverty. So that's what my job is. And I use my tech skills. I've got skills. So those skills I use to advise government and design solutions that could help elevate poverty across the world.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. That is really powerful. And I can see the questions are coming in. Thank you, everybody. Anu, I think we've answered your question. Anu said to please share your story. So she's done that. So thank you very much, Anu. I see more questions in there. Everybody, please load up with the questions so we have a powerful conversation. Lady Mariéme, if I can ask you to maybe, if you stop sharing your screen.
No, absolutely.
Because we can see you now, but I think Zoom does something funny with the recording. Yeah. I think when we watch the recording, it might only show the screen that you were sharing. So, all right, now we can see everyone again. Welcome, everybody. There are more people in here. This is Shape the World. It is not a webinar. You have to participate. So please, there's a Q&A button in the middle of the screen. Post the question, and our wonderful guest, Lady Mariéme Jamme, will respond. Now, you can ask questions about anything. We typically save the most personal questions for the end. But hey, don't worry about that. If you have a question, load it up, and I'll worry about that. So thank you. We have some great questions already. Rafaela says, beautiful presentation, Lady Mariéme. Your story is very inspiring. When you started I Am the Code, what was one of the biggest challenges, and how did you overcome them or it?
I think one of the biggest, that's a very good question, Raphael, thank you. One of the biggest challenge was to make people understand that coding and technology can actually change people's life. When I've been fighting about technology for the last 20 years of my life, and try to tell government and private sector, start investing in technology before it's too late. And so we can see this with COVID-19 now, where now many people don't have access to what we have access to. So I wanted government to start understanding that we can develop applications. We need to give people connectivity. We need to give people laptops and iPads and content. Having this sort of meetings are so important. We are so lucky because so many people will not have access to data, mobile phone, connection like you, Yemi, or even having, so it's really important that we start thinking deeply about this. And so when I start thinking about it, I'm very lucky to be where I am. And so I thought that, creating I Am the Code, where we don't need to work in silo, we all need to work together, because we are all the same, work together for the greater good. So I Am the Code is just it's a gift I'm giving to everyone. I'm just the founder, but to be honest, it's African, it's our pride. Yes. Because it's the first African organization doing this in China, in Japan, in Brazil. So it's our pride. And then I created to make sure people understand that education and the issue of girls and boys in poverty is not just an African problem, it's a global problem. And we need to address issues globally, but at the same time, implement locally. So I created it to make sure that everybody understands that we need to do this globally. And COVID-19 have proven that, we are all together, and we need to make sure, we support organizations, to make sure that we all, thrive, really.
Great. Thank you so much. More people joining us. Please use the Q&A button in the middle. This is a conversation. So please, if you've asked the question before, you can ask another one. Let's keep it flowing. Now, I do want to ask something, and I want to put it in context, especially for those who've just joined. So you could not read or write at 16.
Yeah.
Sadly, you were abandoned by your mother at 5.
Yeah, she had to let us go. Yeah, because of the family pressure. Yeah.
Okay. You grew up in an orphanage. Unfortunately, you were abused in that orphanage.
11
You grew
years
up
old.
across 28 foster homes.
Yeah.
Trafficked as a
From
minor.
house to house.
From Senegal to France.
Yep, Paris.
Now, audience, we can go into some of these personal areas if you want to. But where I want to go with this is, how do we go from this to coding? You could have almost chosen, I mean, to be honest, with that kind of past, most people collapse and they're out. But you fought. And the first question I want is, why did your fight lead you to coding? You could have been an architect, an engineer, a fashion designer, a chef. There's so many other things. How did coding come into your life, and why was that what you chosen?
You know, many people, that's a very good question, Yemi. Many people don't know, when you are traumatized, you actually have a photographic memory. So our brains works differently. So we're very creative people. And so when you've been through trauma, you want to do so many things at the same time. And so because I couldn't read and write, I couldn't get a job. So for many, many years, I was trying to find a job in the UK. I was doing cleaning job, working bars and hotels. You know, I used to make 80 beds a day. In the morning, I will go and do like being a chef and cook for people. Because I know how to clean, because in my village in Senegal, I used to cook for 25 people. So I need to make rice. I need to know how to cook. So I had those skills already that was embedded in me. But one of the things I didn't have is I didn't have like a diploma, a certificate, or anything under my name really. And then plus the trauma I suffered. So, and then when I was in my 20s, like 22, I started to understand the world and understand to have an identity. Okay, I'm a human being, I'm here, what do I do? And then so my local library really helped me. I started with Excel, so I was really good with numbers. So I was gonna go and I used to memorize things, memorize them, and Excel was good. And I had an Excel book I used to take with me every day, because my poverty mind and my traumatic mind was telling me, if you come back tomorrow to the library, you might not get this Excel book. So I used to go to the library, and the guy said to me, for the first time, I started understanding English, what he was saying to me. He said, don't worry, the book will be here tomorrow. And that was really funny, because it reminded me my childhood when I was in France in the tube station, that resilience for me, when people ask me about resilience, and when I see today people talk about resilience, you abusing the word resilience, they really don't understand it. Because for me, resilience was tomorrow will be better. You are sitting today right now under the tube station in France, eating soup, at the and having people looking at you. You are invisible basically. And then I come to the UK many years later when this guy told me, don't worry, the book is going to be here tomorrow. And so I started understanding the word tomorrow and better. So I started putting things together, and then I just started using Excel and learning more and mathematics. And then Excel really helped me, because then I could understand how to put numbers together, memorizing numbers and doing math and physics. Because to know how to code, you need to know Excel and symbols. And algebra and physics. So I started learning. I was very interested in numbers and how to put them. And then I did my HTML website. I sent it to Bono and Bob Geldof. They got angry with me. I was my first ever blog. Google then did a...
Really?
Yeah. It was like my first ever blog written in bad English. So much anger inside, like frustrated that leave Africa alone.
Oh, that has to be a bestseller. Do you have it somewhere? I'm sure it's a bestseller.
It's on my blog. And then so
anyway, we have to check it out.
It was so bad article. And then the Guardian picked it up. And then from there, it went crazy. Then I started coding, still doing cleaning job, working bars. And then I went for work for the council. And then, just carry on doing the coding. HTML came in, Python came in after that, Ruby. And I just started getting interested in learning 7 coding languages in 2 years. Then I got my first ever job in a council. to just go and get a job, and then ask me to be the Excel person. So I become the Excel person. So my CV started getting better and better,
Wow.
data entry, and then customer service.
Oh, wow.
Then it started getting better, and that's the story, really.
Alhamdulillah, that is amazing. If you've missed the beginning of this conversation, Lady Mariéme Jamme has just taken us on a journey. And really, she's filled in some gaps. That is just amazing. So from, like, if you like, eating on the sidewalk by the tube station and the metro, being ignored by everybody, being a cleaner, doing all these odd jobs, to literally starting to have a professional resume.
But until now, I think about, when I don't know if you guys notice and your audience can notice, every time I go somewhere, I really wish my name is on the, looking for someone. When you go to tube station, they're looking for someone. I wish someone is still looking out for me and said, we want to find this woman. And until now, no one has come forward to say, this young girl is missing. So that's why my job is really focus on those little details that we don't think about, because if I could have this poster saying we're looking for, because my Senegalese name is Awa, because my brother is Adama, and I wish that I can see this photo saying we're looking for Awa.
So I mean, you've said so much. Audience, I hope you're captivated as I am. There's just so many threads we can follow. Please post a question, and I can see some. This is a conversation. Now, the last thing you just shared, I don't know the answer to this question, and I'm afraid to ask. So, the family has never looked for you?
Never for me. And I wish I really wish I could. And so, and we don't know our father. So, and my mom died in January 2019. So that was the last piece for me to go and find out why she did what she did. How come she come from this aristocrat family? And we had to go to, to Kaulak and suffer there. Why has my brother has to suffer? All of these questions that you ask when you're looking for your identity. That's why my work around identity and refugees and birth certificates is really important. And that's what I focus on my work. So I Am the Code is all about trying to help people who are asking questions, who are saying, why am I here in this world? Who's my mom? Who's my dad? Most of us don't have mom and dads, but even I've got a son who's 19 years old. Some of us don't have even parents who put us into bed at night. So but those things traumatize you as you grow up. It creates a gap in your upbringing. So until now, my mom, I talked to my mom 30 years later. It was a very quick chat. And then my brother was in contact with her. And until now, she died in January, and I don't have the answers for why she abandoned us as children. And I would love to know why she did that, because that will be a closure for me.
Yes, and I pray that you get that closure. Now, you believe that your father is still alive, but you don't know who he is.
No, my father died in 1992. So I did an investigation. So I paid for an investigator. We did an BBC actually came with me in my village.
Wow.
And then the Guardian wrote a piece about my work to just try to get attention. And my father died in 1992. So my father was a maritime expert. So I got to understand the story. How did she, what happened? I got to understand, but I didn't hear it from her own mouth.
Yes.
And because my mom had a domestic who used to, look after her affairs. So I got a lot of information. Still, I will say a lot is missing that I would like to know, but most of the people have died, or they don't want to embarrass the family. And so I think this is important, having meetings like this, where if you have anybody in the audience or somebody who is based in Africa or somewhere in the world looking for their identity, be patient. But I decided to become a Buddhist. So I became a Buddhist, 17 years ago, to forget and forgive and build my own path. So I Am the Code is really the path I'm trying to build. I orchestrate my own path, because That's important when you are confused and you're struggling to move forward with pain and difficulty. It is absolutely crucial that you orchestrate your own path.
That is so powerful. Thank you very much for sharing. This is really magical. Audience, thank you for your questions. Please continue to post them. We can see them. Okay. Omolola Daudu, thank you for the question. You put it in the chat, but I'm still going to take it. All right. But please, to make sure we see it, put it in the Q&A section. So Omolola is asking, trauma really does inspire. And she wants to know, does it mean that most creativity has to come from a place of pain? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a very good question. I'm a very creative person because I'm extremely emotional, and I don't hide my emotions because I'm a human being, and what happened to me is not my fault. So that's why you become exemplary and you become who you are, because people can relate to their pain. So I've got a lot of friends who been through so much trauma, you know, they really are in pain. But unfortunately, you can check some of my videos that in Africa, you know, mental health and trauma, we don't talk about this. We try to hide because we're all trying to show appearances. We try to be okay, but we're not okay. And so that's why now I talk about these issues, that I can help other people and young girls and boys who have been through trauma to come and say, you know, I'm hurt and I'm not happy. And then when you start talking like that, people can then find solutions and help you. So I would say definitely trauma has helped me become creative. When I'm really angry and frustrated, I write better, you know, to the Global Development Committee, because I'm a voice of reason, but also, you know, I was that person who received the aid in Africa. When my friends were going to Canada and the United States studying in the 1980s and 1990s, I was in the hand of government. So, you know, today I could have become a president of my country or minister in my country, but all of this was taken away from me. And so today when I see, because I was not part of the system, even the census of the Senegalese census, I couldn't be part of it until, I would say, 2012. So I was not counted for as a Senegalese citizen. Wow. And so all of this information I'm sharing with you is important when you become creative. Don't just think about small details. Think about identity, birth certificates. When you're developing solutions, think about ideas that you could develop to you know, help your continent, but work with policymakers and government to make sure you are really, really at the heart of policy where you can make a difference. So definitely use your creativity to not just talk to government, but give them ideas that can help and progress humanity.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. There are more people joining. Thank you. We are live with Lady Mariéme Jamme. She's an award-winning technologist and a systems change pioneer. She's on a mission. She's leading a movement to train 1 million young women and girls to code by 2030. 18,000 already, and this is being done in countries around the world. And she's taking questions. Please use the Q&A button in the middle, and she will answer your question. She's open to personal questions, that's fine too, professional. And if you know people who would love to be here, you have the link. Bring them in. All right. Lady Mariéme, you've touched on so many things. And audience, I don't know if you heard, she's also an activist. So we didn't miss that. We're going to come to that. She's an activist for Africa, but also greater global issues. So if you ask the questions, we will go there. Now, since you've already started talking about how you are helping people to tackle mental health issues, trauma, there is a question here by Awa, who wants to know. She says, Dear Mariéme, you're simply a true inspiration. Thank you for being a living example of how resilience can push you to change other people's lives. Which concrete ways or strategies to cope would you share with other people going through similar paths? And I know you talked about some things now. So I don't know if you want to just build on that a little bit. Are there 3-4 things you might tell people to help them cope?
I would say for me, what helped me, first of all, is to, number one, is to realize that it wasn't my fault. What happened to me as a child, it was absolutely not my fault. And then I start accepting that, you know, this is not my fault and I can make a difference for myself. But it took me many years, really many years. So you have to give yourself time. And I talk about time on my blogs. I don't know if you have read them. I talk about time, giving yourself enough time to really think about, you know, what the strategy you want to take. Because otherwise, especially now with the era of social media, we tend to do everything very quickly. To give yourself time. And then I would say, if you are a religious person, or you know a way to keep yourself calm, pray. If you can't pray, meditate. I would say learning how to breathe in and breathe out, and then you can like use your fingers sometimes when you're getting stressed, breathe in, breathe out is important when you're getting stressed, or you feel that you are really stressed. You need to meditate and sit down 10 minutes for yourself. Understand that you are important as a human being, and meditate, sit down and meditate. And then I would say the third bit is to connect with other people. Sometimes we tend to think people don't love us, or we have all of these ideas in our head. It's not true. It's assumption we make. Connect with people. You don't have to open up too much to people if you don't trust them, but you can say, I am not okay today. Can I talk to you? A small conversation with someone who you trust or someone who respects you is really important. And the fourth and the final thing is, if you don't know how to do all of this stuff, get yourself a mentor. We are human beings. Connection is really important. If you have a wife or a sister or a husband, or somebody you can trust, always tell them, can I just have a minute? Can I have a chat? I want to talk. Be able to talk. Feeling the reason why I share my story, I'm not ashamed of it. My story has built me for who I am today. Of course, sometimes, people in my country who have benefited from the system that made me lost so many stuff, because I've lost my entire childhood and my entire life in Senegal, but I'm not angry with the Senegalese people. I'm angry with the Senegalese system. So that's why today I'm an agent of change. I try to change the system, because time tells me that in the next 10 years, the next 20 years, there are other girls and boys growing up right now in Africa who need my help. So if I can change systems, meaning that if I can help government and private sector to make small changes in the way they conduct policy, hopefully a young girl growing up in Senegal will feel safe. For example, we changed the, in 2009, I was working very hard to change the abortion law in Senegal, the family planning law. For when a young girl is abused and sexually abused or raped, the predator can go to jail. But it took 50 years for this to happen.
Amazing.
50 years. And today, in 2020, Macky Sall promulgated a law where, today, if you do anything bad to a young girl, you go to jail. We have more to do for the abortion law and the family planning law and women's body, all of this. But everything takes slowly. It takes a coalition. A friend of mine, Oulimata Sarr from UN Women, mentioned that we need a coalition of the willing. If we all are willing to do something together, it's important. So join United People Global, join all the information, because Yemi is known and respected across the world. I respect him, that's why I turn up, to his sessions. And if you join these sort of sessions, you may hear something that you never heard before. Join those organizations, learn from them, and then hopefully, you can make a difference. But you need to join, you need to participate. Don't just sit down and consume. If you want to make a difference, I participate. Even sometimes people don't like my tweets, or they don't retweet them, or they don't like my stuff. I participate, and I'm not expecting for them to say anything. But as a citizen, I just speak up, because I'm sure someone one day will say, this is right. So participate. Don't sit down and wait.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you. And thank you for that question, Awa. And thank you. There are more questions coming in. I love, she's giving us, a recipe, and I'm sure there's more, but these are 4 powerful things. Accept that it wasn't my fault, because as a child, what happens to you is not your fault. Give yourself time. Breathe if you need to. Number 3, connect with people. Right? And you can say, I am not okay today. Can I talk to you? That's totally fine. If you don't trust the person, you don't have to go there, but find somebody you can have a conversation with. And then number 4, get yourself a mentor. right, if you can't do these things. So really, really powerful. She threw in a bonus number 5, which I loved, which was join UPG. So thank you. We're all
It's true.
about
I'm a
good
member
people.
now, so.
Yeah, you're a champion. We're going to sort that out. Good people should never fight alone. When evil happens, evil gets organized. So we need to wise up. If you're a good person, you want to do good, please don't fight alone. And the very least you can do, as she said, is join UPG. So thank you so much for that shout out. And thank you all for the questions. So, Tonton Aziz, we have some Senegalese people here. Merci pour la question. We will come to your question. It's personal, so I want to take that towards the tail end. So thank you for that. We have a few questions here from Omolola and also Armando. People want to know the name of your blog.
Oh, it's on the Medium. So if you just Google my name, you'll see my blog. Yeah.
All right. So Google Lady or just Mariéme Jamme.
Yeah, Lady. Yeah,
and
it's on my mariamjamme.com or on Medium. I write all the time. I just wrote a big article about racism in the United States. Yeah.
Yes, and people, she's an activist too, so we have to go there. She's so much she can talk about, and she's literally been there, done that. Everything you want to talk about. Right? She's been on the street, sadly, but she's also been in the boardroom. So she's worked with leaders. She's even annoyed them, and this is why we love her. She continues to speak the truth. She's not just saying things to make people happy. So any topic you want to go to, she can do that with you. So there was a question here, which was about your leadership style. Rafaela wants to know, when you lead, while you're leading I Am the Code, how do you connect with young women and girls? Do you start with your personal story?
Not always. Usually the girls that come to I Am the Code, they already know my work, and then I work with schools, universities, and then and networks like yours. And so, but usually, I'm invited to go to university, and I start sharing my story. And I think that's a very important point. I want to make this point. I think sometimes when we see leaders act on social media, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, we think that the leaders just, made it like that, and then because we don't have so many role models, we just think, oh, they just wearing nice suit, they made it. My story is not a story really, it's a journey, and I'm still in the journey of trying to make it in the world, where, most of the people I am right now harassing almost benefited benefited the system. If you just look at my country, Senegal, they benefited to the system. They had good education. They went to Harvard, Cambridge. They went to use, so they benefited to the system. So I felt left out personally. So I am now telling them, you have to pay back. You have to pay back society. I'm not asking you to pay money. I'm asking you to mentor people back, or to join I Am the Code, or to, fund or look all the organizations where you can actually participate, because you actually benefited from them. But because as Africans, we never talk about how these people, I call them the African elites. So they new elites. And they're also racist people, by the way. And so what they do, they actually don't participate to the progress of Africa. And so they are takers. And I call these two things, the producers and the consumers. So they produce so much bad stuff, and we consume. And the African citizens, so the young people living right now in the Kakuma Refugee Camp, who are Africans, 100% Africans, and they are consuming so many bad stuff because those people are producing it through their friendship and through their network. So someone needs to say, hello, excuse me, wait, I don't agree with this. Can we make some changes? Meanings, work with big organizations that you can actually say, design policies that are favorable to women and girls in Kakuma. Design policies that are favorable to young boys walking on the street of Abuja right now. So make a difference. So either don't join government because you want to become a politician, but be a voice. People call me activist. I would say I was an activist maybe 15 years ago, but now I'm really a disruptor. I disrupt things. I make them see exactly what they're doing wrong, and I said either you correct it or I will talk about it. And so this is what we need to do as Africans, to say it's not okay for 200,000 people to live in a refugee camp. This is not okay. If it's okay for you because you have a house, you have a car, you got everything you find, it's not okay with me, because I was that child that was wandering the street of Dakar, of Kaulak, where I could have been into Harvard University, or I've been to Cambridge, I could have a good education, but you've taken this away from me. Now, 45 years later, I am fixing your mess. So this is why I talk about it. And so it's very important that you, talk about the issues if you want to, and then that's why I talk to the girls about. I don't try to make them activists, because they all can't be, activists. But I think I open their minds for them to know Africa is their continent. There are 54 countries. No one else will come and build it for us. If we don't collectively sit down and say, I don't agree that we have 200,000 people in Kakuma and in Dadaab, 31 years camp where people are in misery. If you're okay with that, I am not okay with it. As an African person, I am a concerned African.
It's powerful. Thank you so much. And thank you for these questions. Lots of powerful questions coming the way. And I mean, here's somebody giving you a shout out, although they're anonymous. They said, congratulations on the activities and the way you inspire people around the world. You are truly an inspiration. If someone wants to join your team, is it possible, even if they're working remotely at a distance?
Yeah, absolutely. We have volunteers. We have 200 volunteers right now across the world.
Wow. All right. So I guess what's website should they go to? iamthecode.org?
Yeah, and they can click on join the movement, and then we will vet them up. So all of our volunteers are vetted, because for compliance reasons, we need to protect girls. And so you get vetted, and if you're accepted, you become a volunteer.
All right. I hope you got that. If you want to volunteer, iamthecode.org. And that's crucial, because the person who asked that question was anonymous. So it's good you vet them. Please don't use anonymous. It always freaks me out on these webinars. But thank you for the question. Armando, I think she's answered your question. Armando wanted to know, where can we find more about your story? She's answered that question. That was some time ago. So thank you, Armando. We talked a bit about family earlier. So Tonton Aziz has asked, Mariéme, quelle trajectoire et quelle vision prospective? Une question, avez-vous des oncles et ou des tantes paternelles et maternelles vivants? Now, for everybody else, Aziz is saying, what a beautiful journey and what a wonderful vision. One question, do you have any uncles or aunties, paternal or maternal, who are still alive?
Yeah, I've got some family members, but if you think about it very carefully, I don't know if I probably tell you this, but if you look in if you know Senegal, the 17 African countries that was colonized by France, if you have a look at it, my grandfather was one of the first Black African teacher in the AOF in France. So if you look at the French history, look at the Senegal history, l'Afrique occidentale française, and he was the first instituteur. And so that's why I've got this education background, I guess. And so you have many people in when French gave money to Senegal, so indemnisation, and those people made money. And so some of my uncle, I don't know if you guys know this history, but they built the first roundabouts, the first African roundabouts. So if you see the conjunction we have right now, so that's why I'm helping young girls and boys to understand design and engineering. So they were the first people that built the roundabouts. If you look at roundabout in Lagos, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Senegal, they're the same people that designed it. So that's why we need to start really breaking the cycle of monopoly, because those same mistakes get repeated in Lagos, in Senegal, in Cote d'Ivoire, because one person won the contract and did it in all of those countries. So do some research around how civil engineering happened in the 1960s, 1970s in Africa. That will be really good for you. And so my grandfather was one of those people who built the first ever roundabout in Africa.
It's brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing. Anu wants to know, are you still in contact with your brother? And
yes,
she's also
yesterday.
asked,
He called me yesterday.
oh, beautiful. All right, we got that. And she's asked, how do you get your resources and maintain it? Anu, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Are you talking about resources to do her work? I'm not sure what she's referring to there. So Anu, if you can come back with the question so that we can answer it. But thank you for this. All right, Armando is asking, coding is very similar to learning a new language. It takes a long time to develop, and to develop these skills, you need projects to practice on. So he wants to know, what kinds of projects do you have for your students to practice?
Well, yes, I agree that, you know, coding is like learning a new language, but I think coding, I look at coding into two different ways. Computational thinking, so understanding how to decompose information. And so first of all, before you start even coding, thinking about going into coding means that you are giving instruction to the computer. Start thinking about how do you use information. Start blogging, for example, and then start writing very simple 200 words, you know, a day, being creative. Because once you start decomposing information, understanding how things work, it's easy for you to go to the coding, because coding is really giving instructions. For example, telling the computer, this is what I want you to do. I want you to give me this result. And so I will recommend to the girls all the time to not jump straight away into you know, into Python or Ruby, but start doing HTML first of all, or learning about Excel. So many African young people which have been begging governments, they don't know how to use Excel. If you really want to be good at coding and anything that is really good for your brain, start using Excel. And then start learning symbols. And once you start learning Excel, Excel is so complex but beautiful. And then you can then start, because there are certain skills you need to know before you know how to code. But you can, if you know how to do use HTML, because with HTML it's going to ask you different symbols, how to open a bracket. So if you don't even know the symbol bracket, then you're having some problems. So I will definitely say take your time to learn step by step. But I always say to the girls, start blogging. So first of all, wake up every single morning and say, I'm going to write a small essay, a small poetry, a small content. And then where am I going to put this? I can put it on Facebook, or I can put it on Instagram. And then you can look at the sources, how the coding happened, what happened. And then once you start learning those small skills, go and learn Excel. Go and learn Excel. I recommend Excel is the best tool that was invented in the world. Learn Excel. Once you learn Excel, you can then start progressing slowly and learning HTML, which is a global language. Everybody knows about it because HTML is very simple. But I can share some of the resources you can have. So I was part of an organization that, the reason why iamthecode is successful, because I was part of an organization that created a Raspberry Pi. It's hardware. I'll show it to you. So it's a very small hardware. So inside the Pi is here.
I love it. We're getting really practical here. So hey, you ask a question and you get a full answer.
So this is a Raspberry Pi. So it's a very simple hardware. So what I did when I created iamthecode, so I put all of the coding content in here. So you can plug this and you can learn how to code in 5 minutes.
Wow.
It's the first one in the world. It's a small Raspberry Pi. So this is sold in the UK for $35, but I built the computer with it, with my friend. So it's here.
Wow.
The computer is like this. And so I give this to every single young girl across the world.
Amazing.
And when you plug it in, it gives you, in 5 minutes, you know how to code. So when we say we're gonna teach people how to code, we really mean that.
I love it. That is amazing.
We're very serious. We're not kidding.
And when we say she answers your questions, we really mean that. Look at the profound answers you're getting. I also love that your answer brings together so many different worlds. Usually, people kind of pick one side. And in talking about how to encourage people to get into coding, you've encouraged them to write.
Yes.
Right, be creative and blog. And then you've encouraged them to go to Excel and be structured with numbers and everything. So usually people do one or the other, not both. So I love that you're doing that. So thank you.
And Excel is not just mathematics. People are scared of it. They think, oh, it's complicated. It's for accountant. But you need to think about, there are some jobs tomorrow that will disappear. And so you need to start really applying yourself slowly, and start learning basic skills that and then read and write. Also understand the reason why, I love Yemi. He's very eloquent, but he understands his topics. So you need to read and understand information, decode the information. So when people are talking to you, you know what to do. But if you want to be creative, start creating. I had a guest the other day, and then I was really thinking about this. If you want to become a creative person, that you don't have any blog, no one can read what you're writing, that's not good. So creativity means create. Coding means start learning how to code, invent something. That's why I put 9 applications here. Every single girl can go and learn how to code in 5 minutes.
I love it. Okay, and the audience is also waking up again. We have a second wave of questions. Please keep them coming. Now, a nice question. Anu's back, and her question is actually a nice bridge to what you just shared. When she asked that question about resources, Anu wanted to know, how do you get the resources to train women? Like, for example, the computer you shared. Where do you get the resources to build it, buy what you need, get it to them? So where do you get the resources, seeing as you want to get to 1 million girls and women by 2030?
So we have a lot of partners that that have been supporting us globally, but we, from the beginning, I didn't have any support. You know, I did all DIY myself because I knew that if I put content into my pie, I will give the girls access very quickly. I knew that, and that was the point that was missing in the world. We have so many people investing in global education, and the girls were not learning how to code. And so I sat with my team and other organizations. We designed the computer kits. I'll show you what it look like inside. It's very beautiful.
Amazing.
And so basically, it's like this. So it comes with screens. So all of these are pieces. So you put it together. So the girls love the process of putting it together. So once they put it together, then they can just plug it in and start coding. So it takes time and resources, but it's the first ever computer like this in the world where it goes to villages. I took it to Nepal. I think it took many places, and you don't need internet to use it.
Okay, and the resources come from partners.
From partners, government, private sector.
And what about individuals?
Donations.
Is there anyone who's watching this and they want to help you bring this to, I don't know, their city, their country?
Yeah,
is there a way they can help?
They can do that. And, I've been doing little small philanthropy work. 36% of my company, so I run a private sector company in the UK. So 36% of my profit goes to my foundation, I Am the Code. So I've been self-investing this by myself. I didn't want to ask for money because I wanted to prove that, we can do this without a lot of money. And so, but now people are coming and saying, actually, it makes more sense to help you. So people are coming forward and helping us, becoming volunteers, taking in their countries, things like that. So everyone is joining in. Like I said, it's an African organization. It's for Africans. So if you participate, you're not helping Mariéme, but you're helping your own country.
Beautiful. Thank you. And if they want to help bring it to their own country, I guess they go to iamthecode.org.
Yeah, or they can email me. They can pass
button?
by you. Yeah, or they can pass by you, and then we can help. We can work together.
If you're part of the UPG family, you get the you don't need to go to the website. You can contact me or anybody in UPG, and we will connect you ASAP. All right, awesome, beautiful. Thank you. All right, more questions. At which age do you think girls can start coding?
Oh, very early age. Girls are so smart.
I have a girl, so I'm listening very carefully.
They can start very early, We have girls who are 6 years old, 5 years old. So girls are, especially now with social media, girls are using everything. Our youngest girls are 6 years old.
Amazing, beautiful. All right, in the same spirit, Hisham wants to know, it's super what you're doing, Madame Mariéme. How do you plan to get to 1 million? Inshallah, he put that himself.
Oh, we have a very clear structure and methodology. So we have like teams, so right now we're going to exceed with what we're doing right now. We're actually going to exceed the 1 million with the way we're going right now. And I think maybe COVID-19 has accelerated the requirement. So that's why I'm working with government right now to make sure that I want to bring connectivity, a proper connectivity to Africa, infrastructure, making sure that every single young boy and girl growing up in places where they can have access to laptops, iPad, mobile phones, have access. This is something very simple we can all do. Lobby your government and tell them, I don't agree. If Kano state, everyone need to have laptops in that state. Because the money is there. If they're willing to do it, everyone will have it. And then the last bit is content. Content is the most expensive part because many people don't know how to create the content, or sometimes it doesn't make sense. So that's what I'm working on right now, to make sure that we give access to people, because I know we can do that. So we're definitely going to reach the 1 million, and I hope that we can all celebrate 10 years from now. That's what I was saying, talking about time. If you give yourself enough time, you will get success. But if you rush it, You're not going to see it. I'm a data person. I love data. And then this data is now being looked after by 27 companies have backed up the iamthecode organization.
Wow.
Because this data will be important. Every single person that come to iamthecode, it will lead to employability. They can become entrepreneurs and whatever. So we have very clear KPI measurement, and it's taken care of by not just myself, by private companies who actually looking after this data very carefully.
All right, brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so we have more questions coming in. This is a conversation, people. If you have, there's a shout out here from my mom. So I have to take it. Thank you, Mom. So my mom says, she says, we thank God for your life. People like you are God sent. Your early journey in life is to make you serve God specially. So far, you have done the job wonderfully well. We must all help you to achieve the 1 million girls and women coders. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Mom. All right, so I want to, because I know we're running low on time, and I promised you some personal questions. But before we go there, you said you've recently published something on racism.
Mm-hmm.
So can you share with us, did you focus on, I guess, in the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement, did you focus your comments on the USA? Did you go beyond? What are some of your thoughts, if you're willing to share?
Sure.
Audience, I'm disappointed that I had to ask this question. She dropped all the hints, and you're normally wonderful, but I didn't see a question on this. So I'm helping us out here, but she can go everywhere. Please post your questions, Q&A button. So Lady Mariéme, please tell us on racism, what are your thoughts?
I mean, what happened is after the George Floyd death, I was very upset as an African woman, but also as a global citizen. And so, and then I start really seeing so many people talk about racism, especially if you live in the UK, in the West. Most of us are not appreciated for who we are. And then I start really writing about, you know, that I'm a Black woman. And so I wrote a blog about that to make sure people understand that, you know, I'm a very proud Black woman, and there are millions of Black women and Black men out there we need to celebrate. And then I started writing really things that they need to 20 points they need to understand before they really start thinking about, you know, how to fight racism. So how to become anti-racist, but the stuff that I see they do, my friends, and they do that is racist. And yes. So, and then I start talking about that, but also I start creating my, you can go on my Instagram at @mjamme, start really having educational conversation where I can educate people about what is racism, what does it mean to be Black, the media bias, inviting the same people that speak like them, you know, things like that really upset me because it's a systematic racism. Yes. Like I said earlier, the producers of ideas and are more dangerous because the consumers of ideas don't know what they, you know, who are the producers behind the scenes. So I wanted to help the creative industry to understand they are responsible for what we consume every single day. If a young girl or a young boy in Africa is consuming bad information every single day, this will affect their brain when they grow up. So we need to really step up our game to have, like I said, meetings like the one you do are fantastic, because if you want to really learn about something, you can come and join this platform every Saturday or every Wednesday, you know, but you can learn about something. And so that was my focus, to educate, to inform, and to transform people's mind that racism is something we created. We're all powerful people. We love what we do, but people need to change their behavior rather than just talking about it, you know? And so I wanted to educate people to make a difference. And to go and do something about this. If you are white, I'm your friend. Don't just become my friend. Do something about it, you know?
I love it. I just love it. Thank you. There's so much in there. I don't need to paraphrase it. It's really action oriented. I smiled when you said 20 things. I was like, all right, this is definitely typically Mariéme. 20 things, not 2, not 3, 20. Yeah. So thank you. Very action-oriented as well. And there are beautiful questions here. So we have a question. We have an anonymous question, although there are others in this spirit that are coming. Mm-hmm. Does your work exist in Nigeria already? Because you mentioned Kano.
Yeah, no, Kalu is it's a different it's a different brand. But yeah,
Okay,
I did a lot of work in Nigeria. I did a couple of hackathons actually in Lagos and in Abuja. Yes.
excellent. But this work with the girls and giving them these machines to help them code.
Yes, they have them already. Yes, and
Excellent.
I would like to bring more because I've just seen the what is also upsetting me a little bit because I've seen the Lagos state have started talking about virtual stuff, but I wish they can have the real content because and this is why it's important to policymakers and spread the message, the right information, because sometimes our people are very willing to do something. They
Yes,
want to invest and they want to help our people, but sometimes not having the right content, the right information can also harm people. So
that's true.
if you know anybody who needs some support, I rather we give people a good food rather than giving them a bad food.
Okay, I mean, you're really mobilizing people here. So people are asking, Anita has asked, what would it take to, bring this to movement in Nigeria? I guess you have some partners there, but you mentioned Lagos. You want some other partners in Lagos? So what would it take to do that? Aziz has asked, Mariam, who are your active partners across Africa? You can see bigger vision wants to help more. So which countries or sub-regional agencies? ECOWAS, CEMAC, COMESA, SADC, Asarea, AU, or NGOs. Tonton, she's going to need a few a few tens of minutes to answer that question. But you can see people want to help.
Yeah, I
People
know.
want to help. So they're
I know.
definitely touched listening to you. So how would you answer
But
this?
the
I
thing
mean,
is, in Africa, sometimes if you want to implement things like this, one of the things I get also frustrated about is, I think this is why it's important to have a conversation like this, because African Union, I got really upset 2 years ago where they launched this like coding programs for girls, and then I just realized they have no content, no computers, and so I reach out to them and say, please, for I'm begging, can we just make sure that before you launch any program, you actually know what you're going to be offering, and so it's very
I know you
it's
were
simple.
serious, but you have a way
It's,
about it.
it's true, and it's very important because what happened is because the policymakers and systems, and this is why I'm really trying to make sure your audience understand about the difference, because it's not sometimes the powerful person sitting in the office who's making decisions. It's really somebody who understands that if I bring 1,000 computer kits in Nigeria,
Yeah,
over 1 million or 2 million girls will actually learn how to code very quickly, like real coding languages. So
yeah.
what does Nigeria need right now? So we do focus on agriculture. So what are the industries we need to pump up with coding and technology very quickly so we can grow our economy. And if we don't understand this very small details,
Yeah,
then it's talk, and then we
yeah.
invest a lot of money into things that don't work. And then 5 years down the line, we realize, oh, we made a mistake, nothing is working. So my job also is really to go deep, to say to people, we can do this. We can strategize how to make access very,
Yeah,
very neat. But
yeah,
we need to be willing. Like I said, the coalition of the willings are
yeah.
we all willing to learn and take the right actions, or are we comfortable in just the way things are? But I think post COVID-19, this is the conversation we should have, all of us together as a
Uh,
continent.
Absolutely. And just to round out another comment and question in a similar spirit, Roland is saying, to put it mildly, you are amazing in all caps. What you are doing is revolutionary and clearly the future for Africa. On a practical note,
Mhm.
could you explain briefly your ecosystem and how you interact with different stakeholders? And what can UPG do to help you achieve the 1 million target? Now, Roland read my mind because obviously anything we can do, we are dying to do it. If you're telling me it takes 1,000 computers in one country to get to 1 million in that country, obviously we need to put those 1,000 computers in the right hands, right? We need the coalition of the willing. As you can see here, there's a lot of positive energy here from Nigerians, Senegalese, lots of people want to do more. So I think the long answer to Roland's question is we should contact you separately.
Yes,
But
yes.
is there a short version that you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can definitely tell you how I did it in China, in Japan, in Brazil. But people, so we I am the code. We divided the work how people can help us in three: the people, the product, and the processes. So the people is really important because I want to make sure people own this, and then because in 2030 I'll be 56 years old,
Wow.
and what is really important that day. So that day, we need to think about this day, the 20th of September 2030. I'll be standing at the United Nations with some of you who you will see that Mariéme have achieved this. And so this is why I'm talking about vision and determination to actually do it. You have to really do it. I'm not saying from now to 10 years, I'm going to struggle. If I'm no longer here, someone will take it on. But it's very important that you understand how things work moving forward from now. That's why you're joining this UP. That's why you're joining, UPG, webinars to really. What I'm hoping for is after this meeting today, you said, "Oh my God, I've learned so much. I am going to take action. I'm not sad anymore about COVID-19. I'm not depressed. I've got so much to do. I am going to do it. Thank you, Yemi and the team for inviting me to. This is what I want you to do." Number one. Number two is 2030. You have to think about this. Do you want to come with Mariéme at because the trend has started? We are moving forward. COVID-19 is not stopping us.
Amen.
Forward, okay. And you said to yourself, I want to be at the United Nations, in the middle of the United Nations in 2030, with Mariéme and the girls she has helped, the coders, the innovators, the entrepreneurs, people who've been mentored, whatever, you name it, to demonstrate to the world, not to Mariéme, to the world, that the first ever African organization endorsed at the United Nations in 2016 have achieved 1 million women and girls learn how to code, plus boys, if you want to add extra. This has been done and achieved. And then that day, the entire press, so you're going to be learning how to code, you're going to be learning how to write, so you're going to become a press person in between all of that. You're going to get the exclusivity because it was done by somebody the system have forgotten, the system have let down, someone who never had access to education. And for many, many years, this has been achieved. So if you want to be part of this journey, don't see it right now like this. See it like, I am going to be with Mariéme in 20. So if I'm no longer here, God forbid something happened to me, you take it on and you say,
God forbid.
because Yemi is going to definitely bring you at the UN.
You're going to be there. You're going to be there.
And so you stand up there, you say, here is the banner. We have achieved 1 million women and girls because the data will say so, no lying, no making stories up. The girls will tell their own stories. And so all of us collectively, the coalition of the willing, all of us will demonstrate to the world that we have achieved this, because this is very serious and this is my purpose. And you all need to find your purpose from today, because these meetings we're organizing here, they take time, they take energy, but you are so lucky that, because I know from today, if you wake up tomorrow morning, Thursday, and say, I am going to make a difference. I'm not depressed. Yes, I don't have money. I don't have connectivity. I don't have data. You can get all of these issues that are real, because it's real. I know people are struggling right now, but forget about those struggles. Do something else that will help you come to 2030 with me, because I would like you to be there to see exactly what I'm saying.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And you are going to be there. Now, I want to take so many wonderful comments and questions. Thank you, audience. You're beautiful. Mwah. Thank you. All right. So where should I go? Anita's asked, she said, what are some of the criteria for choosing the girls that are trained? And how can ordinary people help in making this goal a reality?
Yeah, anybody can help. Like I said, it's an African one. It's all of us. That's why I'm honored to participate and talking to Yemi about this, because it brings different platforms. We all have different platforms, so everybody can participate. It's easy to join I Am the Code. We have we have content, a lot of content. So if you want to join, just let me know and you can participate. If you want to have this in your own country, by all means. Again, we're looking for partners, people. We have amazing product and clear processes.
Excellent, powerful. All right, there's a shout out from Francesca. It's not a question, but she's sending you love. So Francesca Scott says, Lady Mariéme, you are really an inspiration. I get you. All talk and no action is very harmful. However, if we can all do what you are doing across the continent, Africa will leapfrog into the next generation across all areas affecting people's lives dramatically. You are amazing. That's love from Francesca. Thank you, Francesca. So this is Shape the World. We like shout outs. So if you want to show some love, that's totally allowed. Now, let me see. Okay, so I guess Francesca has answered this question, but we want your take, Lady Mariéme. Omolola is asking, do you believe an African can make tremendous impact from abroad, or do we need to live in Africa to cause a change?
No, I think we can be abroad to do what we need to do. My experience is that it doesn't location is not a problem really, but having the right people next to you who believes in you. And I think like that's what I love about Yemi. He always talk about his parents, he talk about his mom, his dad, or he talk about his parents. It's very important to have his wife and his children, his and his child, and it's important to have a network of people who loves you, believes in you, and care about you. Now, you don't want to go and give your ideas to people who actually don't care. Unfortunately, we all know this. In our continent, sometimes people are jealous, they destroy, they sabotage you, they don't do the right thing, unfortunately. But this attitude, we need to start changing them, because we are talking about this behind the scenes in our closed doors, but we need to start educating people to be good human beings and being responsible and doing something that is good. And then, it's not always charity, but you are an active citizen of the world and of your continent. And for decades and years, I'm the evidence. I'm the evidence here. Yeah. That the systems of Africa have failed me as a young girl. But remember, there are millions of young girls and boys growing up in Africa today, as we speak, who are suffering right now. Yeah. And I have seen this in my own eyes. And I know that the reason why this is happening to them is because someone is not being responsible. We're all being selfish. We're all caring for, our own things. So we need to, if you want to change our continent, we can all benefit, by the way. You can do business and make money at the same time, or you can do good. But we need to start thinking about what Africa do we want to see. I want to share this quote with you where I was learning about this quote that says, children, if you really think about young girls and the way they're working, children, they can only see what you show them. This is why I love about kids. Kids you cannot make up things with children. Yes. Children cannot be what they cannot see. Yes. And then this is what we cannot be an Africa we don't want to see. We need to be the Africa we want to see.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you want to see Africa to prosper, to have people have money, education, jobs, because to be honest, we don't want to be abroad. We don't want to live abroad. We don't want to live here. It's cold. We suffer racism. We don't appreciate it. We don't want to be here. We want to be in our continent with our cars, our house, our chauffeur, our things. We want to live in our own continent. But the situation is we can't. Yeah. That's why we're not being here because it's a pleasure for us. I didn't have to be in the UK. And many people don't actually want to be abroad. They want to be in their own, they want to be home when their moms are ill, they can take care of them. This is the reality of many Africans. But this is why we need to start now making sure we invest into our continent so we all can benefit and prosper into our own continent. Because we have an amazing continent, amazing resources, but we're not using them the way we should use them. That's why we have this gap between poor and rich, and you have so many issues people are suffering behind the scenes, and no one dare to talk about it because it's embarrassing, or you're creating troubles, or you want to become a politician. So to answer your question, really, I will say you can be in Africa to make a difference. We have friends in the continent who have left the West and are on the ground. We also have people in the West who are making a difference. For example, sending money home, participating in the African remittances. But this is we're not doing this because we're feeling bad. We want to be home. Yeah. But unfortunately, the situation is for me, if I had a choice, I would be president of my country today.
Amen. I love it. I love it. It's bold.
Because I know I can do it. So.
She definitely can do the job. Absolutely. Friends, this is the last part is personal questions. And she said she'll take some. We're going to do them in quick fire fashion. So please load up your questions right now. You want to know a favorite book, favorite movie, anything. Please put up the personal questions. Be nice and I'll take your questions. While we're waiting for your questions, there's just maybe the last round of the previous questions I'll just close out on. But please, friends, some personal questions now. Q&A button. All right, so a few questions here. Roland is being practical. He says, the pie is a great product. I actually work for Farnell, the company that manufactures the pie,
All
so
right.
I know the product quite well. Do you have any support from them or from the Pie Foundation? And maybe we could work something out. Dot dot dot.
I know the Pi Foundation very well, so I know Philip, in the founder. Yes, I know them. And
Are they
yeah,
supporting?
they have given us some pies, but because the computer, they're one of our partners because the pie is
Okay.
already included in the computer. But
Okay.
we are designing other products that will require the pie. So I'm happy to have a call offline with you to show you the new product we are launching. So and we'll include.
Consider it done.
Yeah.
Consider it done. Thank you. All right, Roland, great question. The next one I wanted to bring up was Abidemi was asking, it's professional slash personal.
Mhm.
What is the easiest programming language that you can recommend for a beginner?
I will start with HTML.
All right, done, Abidemi. Great question. Thank
Yeah,
you.
start with HTML because HTML will lead you to Python, Ruby, and other languages. But start with HTML.
All right, and friends, personal questions, please. We have a small window. Please post personal questions. Thank you. All right, you have one vote already. Amalala is already saying she's going to vote for Lady Mariéme Jamme for president.
Don't want to say
Can we
that too
hear
much.
an amen? Love it. Thank you, Amalala. All right, personal questions are coming in. Thank you. We want to see a few more before we round out. Any more personal questions? Awa wants to know,
Mhm.
are you doing anything with young African girls in a country like France, where they are likely to be in dead-end pathways that don't expose them to science or any STEM, and they're
You know,
definitely not coding? Is there
yeah,
any? Are you already doing things with young African girls in France?
yeah. I've been to my, as you know, I grew up in Saint Denis, so which is a suburb, in France. It's very, very, very tough place. I always said that the difference between Saint Denis in Africa is just the weather in winter. So it's a very bad place. It's such a bad place, and they created this segregation through. It's true. They created
Oh
segregation
no.
where you got this many Africans live by themselves, and so if you have any contact in we can go. I'm happy to help them, but France has been very traumatizing for me because
Of course.
those young girls are being let down for so many ways. So I would love to help you, but I've been to many schools. I gave some talks in but we don't have yet a I am the code club in Paris.
Did you hear that? UPG family, did you hear that? Shape the World family, did you hear that? I think we just heard a whisper from Lady Mariam's heart. France has been traumatizing. She knows it very well. She knows what those young African girls are going through. She would love to help them. She's shaping the world. She's already a leader, but she's not there, and she would love to go there. All right, you know what you need to do, you people. All right, so you got that. All right, I see some personal questions coming in. Let's take them. All right, thank you so much. I love you guys, very disciplined. Great personal questions. Lady Mariéme Rafaela wants to know, what is your morning routine?
Oh, that's a very good question.
But whatever you want to share, you don't need to tell us everything.
That's a very good
So,
question. It's very simple, Raphael. It's really so. As you know, I'm a Buddhist, so I go every single day. I wake up around 4 a.m. So I'm not a big sleeper. So I don't know if you know this, but since I was a young girl, I have a problem with sleeping. So because I grew up in orphanages and closed places, so I've been having sleeping problem all my life. So I'm not a big sleeper. So I use those moments to reflect, but also to code and do my work. So when I
yeah,
wake up in the morning, I go for my walk and I do my meditation. So I do one in the morning, one a day. I love to go running. So I go running everywhere I am. You can see some of my videos. I love running. So I live in the southeast of England where I live is not far. I can go running. So even
yeah.
sometimes 20 minutes, because when you are stressed, it's good to go out and running or for a long walk. And that's what I do usually. That's my very good routine. I've been doing this for a very long time. People think I'm young, but I'm getting old now, 45 years old. So yeah, but I go running every day and I meditate.
Wow.
I'm very grateful for what I have because I feel that despite everything I've been through, as a, I feel I'm extremely privileged, really. I'm so lucky to be able to be where I am. So I'm grateful. So I always thank the universe and that to really have given me this opportunity to be here still.
Brilliant. Thank you. Omalala wants to know, what do you do when you feel like things are going slow? I'm wondering if she's asking what you kind of do to chill.
To chill. So I do when I'm stressed out. So I don't usually get stressed out, but sometimes I get annoyed.
Yes.
So when I'm annoyed, what do? I take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out. So I realize that tomorrow will be better. So don't worry. It's usually, when there's a problem, it's usually a human problem. Somebody is making that issue. So I try to remove myself from it. And when I'm chilling out, I'm always reading. I love reading. I've got so many books, so I read a lot. And I also write, so I like writing. So I'm writing my book right now. So yeah, that's what I do to chill. But I also look after my son. I'm a mother, so my son is very lazy. So I cook for him. I clean his clothes. So I still do the cleaning in my house, believe it or not. So I do the cleaning, I do the dishwashing, I do I wash my son's clothes. He loves me cooking for them, so I cook for him. And yeah, so I'm a mom.
There's nothing like mommy's cooking, man. There's nothing like mommy's cooking.
He loves that, but he's lazy. so he doesn't do anything.
Is he learning how to cook?
Yeah, he's learning. I'm only joking, but he's learning. But I do all of the chores of the house. I clean, I wash, I do everything.
Awesome. Thank you. You mentioned you read a lot and you love reading. So Awa wants to know, what is your favorite book and why?
Oh, so I'm reading a couple of books right now. So this is what I'm reading right now, and I recommend you all get it if you can. So it's Make Your Bed.
I already like it. I already like it. I'm guessing where it's going, but anyway, I like it.
So this one is Make Your Bed, and so this one is really important book, by the way, because sometimes what I say to people all the time is, before you clean people's houses, clean your house. So this book is about a colonel who disciplined, and he said, before you make other people's bed, make your own bed. Sometimes in Africa, we tend to make other people's beds.
I love it.
He said, so when you wake up in the morning, make your bed before you make someone else's bed. So it's very important it's like around humility, but also taking care of yourself before you take care of other people. Like, Yemi, we know this between us. So before we take other people, we need to be. And so it's really important book because it's from an army guy. And then it taught me a lot about, because I can't change the world if I'm not changed. I cannot help girls if I'm not, if I haven't helped myself. I cannot teach girls how to code if they got mental health. So it's really to look inside of you, take care of yourself. It doesn't mean you are selfish. It just means that you need to be ready before you help other people. Don't just go and jump and coding and mentoring and pretending to be someone you're not. Look into yourself before you help other people. So that's what this book is about.
I love it. All right, people, we don't have to. Oh, another one. Listening. Yeah. Oh, Ikigai?
Yeah, do you know it?
Yeah. Please tell him.
So this Ikigai is really my philosophy, and most of you don't know, but I've lived in Japan for 3 years. So this is my philosophy, and it's really important philosophy that I've been talking to. I can send you the concept, but it's really important. It's very deep, but it's like every day when you wake up, you need to understand what you're good at. I don't know. Yemi, have you told them before, or did I know?
No. Please tell them.
Okay, so the Ikigai philosophy is my philosophy, and I've been working on this for maybe 21 years. I've been working on this before my son was born. And it's the first point of the Ikigai is to do what you love. It's like what Yemi is doing. Do what you love. You need to do. It's one piece, like a circle. Do what you love. And the second is you have to do what the world needs. And that's why it's really trying to help you focus. Don't do so many things at the same time. You need to do what the world needs. So if you look at I Am the Code, it was built around Ikigai. And then do what you're good at. That's the third point. You have to do what you're good at, really. Don't pretend to do so many things because it's going to stress you, depress you. With social media, we see so many people doing things. We think that, you know, they all made it, they haven't made it. So do what you're really good at. And then the other part that will probably be interesting to you is do something that you can be paid for. At the end of the day, we don't talk about money in Africa, but we all need to be paid. I'm a single mother, I have to be paid. So those 4 items are really important for you to know. So if you look at I Am the Code, is built on that philosophy I've been having for 21 years. You need to do what you really love. I love coding, I love people, I love girls, I love boys, I love helping young people. I Am the Code, the world needs it. So it's very important you do what the world needs, not what the world don't need.
Yes.
Do what the world needs. And then the third component is do what you're good at. I am very good at coding. I'm not good at selling. I'm not good at you know, all the stuff people have, but I'm really good at my coding. And then, you know, and do what you can be paid for. So I love going and talking to people, and I get paid for my time. So it's very important that you think about that when you know, after you're wrapping up this talk and go back to it and say, it's very important you think about those 4 things. Then it will help you focus more, and you don't waste too much time on Facebook, on Instagram, all of that, but focus on those 4 points.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, people, we need to let Lady Mariéme go. But I know Amalola has been one of our star participants today. She's posed loads of questions, and she's begging for the last question. So
Okay.
you'll get to it. But Lady Mariéme, just to give you a heads up, we will come to you for your closing thoughts
Sure.
to kind of wrap up. Now, before we do that, all right, Amalola, she'd like to know, please, does Lady Mariéme yoga?
Yes, I do. I do
All
meditation.
right.
I do meditation and yoga. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, Amalola, I hope you're happy. Rafaela wants to know, when are you releasing your book?
I am
So we
just
can make
looking.
it an instant bestseller.
I'm looking for publisher now. I'm looking at the different publishers. I've got a list of publishers I need to contact. So the book is ready, but I just need to get a publisher to publish it.
Well, hopefully they should line up and you should choose, right? You shouldn't be begging anybody. They'll be stupid not to accept you.
Who knows, you know?
All right, Tonton Aziz said, super agreed 100%, la transformation du monde commence par la transformation des hommes. So I think he's referring to what you said about make your bed.
Yes.
The comments you made
It's
there.
a very
Merci
good
beaucoup,
book.
Tonton. Roland wants to know what your thoughts are about Scratch as a programming language.
Oh, you know, don't start me on that, because I got so upset when, you know, I don't know if you remember this Africa Code Week. Do you remember that in Africa?
Yes.
It was a terrible stuff. And so, and then I discovered that they were everywhere. This is what I'm saying earlier about policies and what we do wrong in the continent, where Africa Code Week got opened, voted by you know, our allies from the West, and they bought that in Africa, and they didn't know that I was going to be finding out. And when they realized I found out, they got very scared, because I went and checked. My first thing I check is, what is the code? Show me what the girls are learning. And I realized they downloaded the MIT Scratch, because Scratch was invited by MIT, downloaded the PDF, went to Africa, to every single government, teach Scratch to kids.
Oh no.
That upset me so much, because I said, you could have done better, because if you done your research and say, okay, Nigeria, Senegal, what coding language do you need to build your agriculture industry? What coding language do you need to build your aerospace and defense industry? Maybe we can then partner together. We can do Python, Ruby, HTML, all the coding languages, you know, that Africa need. Yes. But no, everyone opened the doors for them, and it was SAP solution, Scratch, MIT, and it was terrible. Until now, look at what happened. After 3 years, 4 years, they have not learned anything. Project, a lot of money spent, flight, accommodation, hotels, bus, everything happened, total waste.
Yeah. So
this
again,
is what I'm saying about, yeah, it's about policies. We need to be very careful with how we design policies and how we bring this sort of project in Africa, because at the end of the day, the boys and the girls that was exposed to that Africa Code Week, they're the one who have lost, not the guys in Europe. You know, and then, but they had a lot of attention, and today, look what happened.
All right, thank you so much. I'll let you collect your thoughts for a few seconds, because I'm going to come back to you for closing thoughts. Audience, you have been amazing. Great questions. Your questions have teased out the best parts of the conversation. If I'm ever nervous about what a conversation is going to be like, I should actually chill. Many of you who come regularly are just amazing. Mr. Salami, he's sending you a shout out, so I'll read that out. Olukoya Salami says, "You are very exceptional with love for humanity. You have been ordained by God to stand in the gap for the underprivileged. The Lord will give you more grace to achieve your vision, love to support." Again, somebody else who wants to do more. Thank you so much, sir. It's one of our regulars.
Thank you.
So thank you, everybody. You've been really, really amazing. I'd like to give the final profound word to Lady Mariéme Jamme herself. Lady Mariéme, you have the microphone.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Yemi, for having me. I really appreciate this time. And I think I want to just bring my thought on three different things. The first thing is, you know, you are someone I really admire for a very long time. You know that now. So I've seen you work in many, many places, and this is really amazing. So thank you for creating spaces for us to have conversation. This is a different platform for me, and so I'm really happy that I participate and come and listen to your audience and the people you're working with. Hopefully we can get the recording and many people can listen to it. So thank you for being here for all of us, but also thank you for your leadership. You know, I love the fact that you are a great leader. You know, I love and admire you, the work you're doing with your family, your beautiful wife and daughter, and your talk about your mom and dad and all of your family. It's really important for us to have these values, to understand that, the opportunity you had to go to school, to do everything you have today, you're giving back society. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And the second component is, it's very important that we are honest as Africans to really start changing things, because you and I have connections and access to people that don't have, and it's not everyone who will have access to what we have. But I'm hoping that, you know, we can do more of these activities, support you more, sponsor it, get more people to come and join in, and get you to invite many guests to really come and listen. And then what is missing right now into our continent and around the world is there's lack of content, lack of authentic people, but also lack of, real different visions and different information. We all listen to the same people, the same information. No one is honest. No one wants to tell the truth. Everyone is trying to close up and save their own brand. But at the end of the day, that will not change the world, because the poverty we have around the world today, 750 million boys and girls are out of school because of COVID-19. If you don't have access to, connectivity, internet, laptop, or even content, if you're not privileged enough to have all of this, you are left out for many years. And I was left out as a child. That's why it's very important. What I'm doing is passion, and it's for our continent. And I want you to know that I Am the Code is an African organization for Africans. Whatever you do is for Africa. You're not doing it for me. And third, I think to finish is read books that help you. I will always say, you need to read big books that will feed your soul and feed your intellect. I didn't have all of this vocabulary before. I couldn't speak English when I came to the UK. I didn't understand all of this. I read it, but I'm so passionate about learning, because I'm like going backward. I'm learning geography, but so many stuff I'm learning. It's important that's why I can articulate what I'm saying. So I'm going to recommend two books, but the other thing I always do, I have empathy. So this book is really important. When we're designing solutions and talking about subject matters, we need to look into empathy, compassion, and kindness. Being kind to other people and being compassionate, it doesn't mean we are weak. It doesn't mean, we means that we need to, as human beings, if I'm no longer here, God forbid, you need to think about my legacy is every single person I touch, every single person that I open their mind and transform their mind and educate them. So think about that, designing solutions. And when you go in and talking to your friends and to your colleagues and to people, have empathy, compassion, and kindness. And the last bit is be an authentic leader. Being authentic will help you. It will help your soul, because you're going to be in less pain. But if you pretend to be somebody you're not, it's going to be difficult for you. So don't be afraid of being who you are. People either like you or they don't like you. But for many years in my life, I've got white guys and companies, people who dislike me, what I was saying. Today, they're running like chicken. Mariéme, please help us. Mariéme, please. Because 20 years ago, they didn't want to listen to what I was saying. They told me, we don't want to listen to you. Poverty in Africa is more important than technology. Today, COVID-19 showed them you failed. You failed to connect villages in Africa. You failed to buy computers for people. You meant and signed a partnership with Microsoft. What happened to the girls now? They don't have laptops. They don't have iPads. Content. What are we learning as Africans? Nothing. And so these three things are really important. This is why we're struggling. And the education system, we spend so much money and money in the education system in Africa. We are failing people. So I think that after this session, I hope, my sincere hope is, go back and check what iamthecode does. Joining the session Yemi is organizing all the time. You never know who's going to turn up. He knows so many people, and you are very lucky, to know Yemi, because he definitely know people, and he always choose the right people to come and talk to you. So you're very lucky. Consider yourself extremely privileged, really. For me, I'm always privileged when I'm invited to activities like this, because you never know who you're going to meet. You never know what's going to happen. But don't take it for granted, because it takes time to organize. It takes time to plan. And let's as Africans start appreciating our people, appreciate our people and be authentic leaders. And then this is how we're going to build our continent. So that's all I have to say. Yemi, thank you for everything you're doing for the continent. And I'm so happy your mom and your wife are in your world, because they are amazing women who looked after you.
Thank you. Don't forget my sisters.
And your
three
sisters,
wonderful sisters.
And
I
your
like to
sisters,
say, I mean, I really was lucky. But I like to say I was raised by three women, mom and my sisters. I'm the youngest one. All right. But thank you. Thank you so much, Lady Mariéme. I was powerful with the closing remarks. I can't paraphrase it. There is no need. I would say watch it again. You got so many shout outs while you were closing. Hisham going exactly 100%, 100%. So thank you, Hisham. Thank you, everybody. This has been a great conversation. The recording will be shared, and we can share it with people who need to hear it. Lady Mariéme has really brought her world to us in so many ways, and she's encouraged us to be creative. She's encouraged us to read, to be structured, to be empathetic, to be authentic, to also look at the big picture. If possible, to create systemic change, right? Look at the implications of what we are doing. She's also taught us how to tackle difficult moments, how to cope. She's reminded us to breathe. She's reminded us to not fight alone. So talk to somebody if you need to. She's given us so many practical tips. And she's shared wishes with us and dreams. And I know we are all going to be together in 2030 when we celebrate her movement coming home.
An African success. African success. We are dying for African successes. So
we're going to celebrate her movement, bring it home. It's an African success. They will exceed that 1 million. And we're going to celebrate that together, inshallah, in 2030. Inshallah. Thank you so much, everybody. Wish you a great rest of the day. Please continue to shape the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Yemi. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Love you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.